What's up, YouTube? It's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and I'm back with another episode of the NBA preview. Now, for those out there who missed the last episode, I thoroughly understand because today I'm double uploading. A little crazy things happen in my personal life, but don't you dare worry. Like always, I got that annotation in the top right hand corner. Always got them links in the description, and of course when you watch the video in its entirety, because I already know that's what you're about to do, there'll be annotations not only to the last episode but also annotations to a playlist so you can catch up, binge watch all the videos that you missed to where we are right now. Now in today's video we are talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now this right here, I've been getting kind of hyped to where we are right now, so if you feel me in my bag a little bit, please excuse me. But for my younger viewers out there, you all probably weren't even alive, but even if you were alive, you were really young. You was a little toddler of some sort. You probably have never even seen this team in the playoffs. Hopefully this year that will change, with the emergence of players such as Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins becoming better players, and some people have gone as far to compare, especially Karl-Anthony Towns, to some all-time greats with the numbers that he posting up. Wiggins with his athleticism, it seems as if the skies are the limit, bringing in Coach Tibbs, and also bringing in a lot of quality starters and some bench players. Shout out to Teague, who signed a contract. Shout out to my man Taj Gibson, who signed a contract. Shout out to my man Shabazz Muhammad. Yo, I know for a fact about Shabazz, so trust me on that. He signed his contract coming off the bench. But obviously, the biggest transaction throughout the entire summer is my man Jimmy Butler making that transition to the Minnesota Timberwolves, which obviously has to be our summer of social media for our clip of the day.
To this great city, I've landed, my new home, Minnesota, Minneapolis. I'm so excited to get started. I can't wait to meet and interact with everybody. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm ready to win, I'm ready to lead, I'm ready to get this city on track. Thank you.
So shout out to the Chicago Bulls because you played yourself, and also shout out to my man Jimmy Buckets for getting out that situation, because you know he's a really good player. Many people will make the argument that he's a top 10 player, and he needed to get out of that situation because Jimmy Butler's at a point in his career where he should be contending, not trying to be on the team where they're trying to hit the restart button like a Nintendo 64. So let's just get this straightened up. Now with this team that we have assembled together, the Minnesota Timberwolves, y'all better make the playoffs, because it's been way too long since the Timberwolves have been in the playoffs, been in that postseason action. Ever since KG was in his prime, y'all made it to the conference finals. We talking about 10 plus years. Now those were some expectations that I put on this team myself last year, but unfortunately the transition to that Coach Tibb defense didn't go over so smoothly, and we also had some injuries as well, and Chris Dunn really didn't pan out how he was supposed to. But this year, there's no excuses. I'm putting it on the table, all out. Minnesota Timberwolves, you got to make the playoffs this upcoming season. And actually, speaking of the Timberwolves making the playoffs, and we'll take a look at these depth charts and also these contracts so you get a better understanding of where they are financially and what they roster looking like. Now, when it comes to the contracts, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Jeff Teague, 3-year, $57 million. I like that move for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jeff Teague, you need to go get that bag. I don't know what you plan for, but I think Jeff Teague is a really good player. I think he was worth more than that, but you know it is what it is. Taj Gibson, 2-year, $28 million. Shout out to Taj Gibson getting out that Bull situation as well. I like that. Jamal Crawford, 2-year, $4.9 million, coming off the bench, giving you a little sauce every now and then. Also, shout out to my man Shabazz Muhammad, that 2-year, $3.2 million contract. But obviously, we got to point out to my man Andrew Wiggins, who got that max contract coming off that rookie deal bag. 5-year, $148 million. And then when it comes to overpaid players, Pekovic, man, $11.6 million. So the bad news is, y'all still got to pay Pekovic $11.6 million, even though he's no longer on the team and y'all bought him out. He's not even playing for y'all. But the good news is, this is the last year y'all got to pay him, man. That's what's up. That's moving forward. Now when it comes to expiring contracts, Shabazz Muhammad, Jamal Crawford, they both have player options, so we'll figure out what they're going to do in a couple of more months. But then when it comes to Karl-Anthony Towns, team option. Let me be clear, team option. They have another year to figure out what they want to do with him. Obviously he's a max player, we all know that, but one more year under that rookie contract deal money, and then that real money, that real bag starts to kick in. So that's what you need to know about these contracts and that back end when it comes to the money side. Let's go ahead and transition to this depth chart so you can look at how these rotations looking. First of all, 10-man rotation, because we already know Coach Tibbs, he ain't going that deep in the bench. That's just his playing style. Coming at the backcourt, we got Jeff Teague, Jimmy Butler. At the 3, Wiggins, Taj Gibson, and Towns wrapping it up at the 4 and the 5. Coming out the bench, solid bench in my opinion. The 3 players I gotta point out. Shout out to my man Gorgie Jane. Shout out to my man Shabazz Muhammad, and also shout out to Jamal Crawford. Now I also like Tyus Jones, and I like my man Baita as well, aka Belly. Also shout out to Aaron Brooks as well, because he did sign a contract with this team also. I just don't know how much playing time he's gonna get on this team. Now the one thing I do like about this roster is the defensive abilities that they're supposed to have. Wiggins and Towns last year were massive disappointments when it comes on the defensive end. Hopefully they're able to add to that side of the ball, because offensively they got it down pat. But I definitely like the potential defensively. Now you added in Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson, 2 players who like to get after on the defensive end, show a lot of effort, and hopefully that rubs off on some of these younger players. Then we got Towns anchoring it at the 5, and again, hopefully some defensive abilities rub off on him. But with that being said though, I definitely have to highlight one player for our spotlight player of the day, and it is Andrew Wiggins, because we definitely got to talk about what's going on with Wiggins in his career so far. Now Andrew Wiggins, 6'8" small forward, first overall pick in the 2014 draft, and spent his entire 3-year NBA career with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now Andrew Wiggins, as we all know, when he came into the NBA, everybody was on top of him like hot sauce on some white rice. Everybody wanted a little bit of Andrew Wiggins. Everybody thought Andrew Wiggins was going to be the next big thing. And don't act like you didn't fall into the hype, because I know I did. The athleticism was unreal. It was unmatched. And the potential was through the roof, especially on the defensive end. However, here we are now 3 years later, and please don't get this mistaken. Last year he had his best year in his career. Nearly averaged 24 points, grabbing 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and shooting splits that was serviceable for a 3rd-year player that a lot of people just assume was not going to be that efficient whatsoever. But we got to talk about what's going on the defensive side of the ball. Now when it comes to Towns, he's a little younger and he has a lot more to handle, because not only is he guarding his man, but you also got to protect that rim. But Wiggins though, you athletic. You have the ability to be a really, really good player. And the only reason why I'm really harping on this is because he is the key for this team. We already know Towns is amazing. We know what Jimmy Butler's going to give you. We know how great of a coach Tibbs is. But if Wiggins is not able to step up, and when I say step up, I'm talking about be really, really good on the defensive end. Because now Wiggins is at a situation in his career where you're entering new territory. The whole not making the playoffs, oh, I'm just developing, that's kind of over for you right now. Because again, a lot of people had high expectations for you. You're knocking down threes now, that's cool. You're doing a little bit more facilitating, I like that. Definitely want to see some more ball movement out of him. And now with your offensive responsibility being reduced, we definitely need to see a little bit more out of you on the defensive end. And if so, that will definitely take this team to the next level. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and transition to our Twitter question of the day. Shout out to my man James Jordan, and his question is, what does Minnesota need to add to beat Golden State, or do they just need to develop? Now when it comes to adding to any team, it's not going to hurt anybody to get a little bit more deeper on your bench, and we probably need to pull Thibodeau aside a little bit and talk about playing some more people and not giving 38 to 40 minutes, regardless of how young Wiggins and Towns are. It just don't make no sense to play them that many minutes. Get a little bit more deep on your bench and you'll be fine. But when it just comes to them becoming better and having the potential to be the Golden State Warriors, which I'll just say it right now, yes, I definitely can see this team beating the Golden State Warriors in the near future. It's really just the development of some of these young players and building chemistry, because they definitely have added a lot of pieces to this team. So when it comes to their additions and the defensive schemes that Thibodeau loves to run, everyone has to be on the same page. Communication is a must. And when you're adding so many pieces like that to a team all in the exact same offseason, you're definitely going to see a little bit more problems in the beginning of the season, which is a huge reason why I have them a little bit lower on my list, even though yes, I still believe that they have the potential to beat the Golden State Warriors. Now when it comes to the development of this team, a couple of things I have to point out. Jeff Teague has to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to scoring, because Curry is not going to be able to hide amongst any other player on his team, so there's a huge plus. Jimmy Butler has to pass the ball a little bit more, and Wiggins as well. I want to see a lot more ball movement with this team, and Jimmy Butler, I saw a little bit too much isolation out of him over the past couple of years, but then again, he had to do whatever he could do because it's not like he had a whole bunch of talented players on his team. Taj Gibson is going to be Taj Gibson. Give me a little bit of that energy. Coming off that bench, Shabazz Muhammad, don't be looking real crazy if they put you at that power forward position, because I can definitely see them running some small ball. And then we have Towns. And again, I'm going to put it on their shoulders because we've been comparing Towns and Wiggins to some of the greatest players of all time in their first 2 to 3 years. And when it comes to Towns, I'm looking at the stat line. It's amazing. It really is. But now it's time to win. All the number games we playing, we done with that. It's time to win now. And when you're comparing Towns to players like Tim Duncan and Shaq, which I see a lot of people doing so just because of that stat line, I need to start seeing some W's in that column. And so Towns is going to be put in a situation where they're going to be running that ball through him going up against the Golden State Warriors, because if he can get to where he needs to be, especially on a consistent basis and also on that defensive end, let's not forget about that. If Towns can get to that point of his career and he can just be a dominant big, that would definitely take this organization to a whole nother step. Now, with all that being said, people, please let me know what you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves in the comment section below. Jimmy Butler, Coach Tibb, what do they call this team now? Y'all like fuse it with the Minnesota Bulls or whatever. I don't know what y'all be doing, but let me know what you think about this team in the comment section below. Thibodeau, Towns, Wiggins, Butler, how far do you think they'll be able to go into the playoffs? Because I think if they match up with the Golden State Warriors, I can see them matching up in the second round. They're definitely going to give them some problems. And where do you think this team is going to be 2 or 3 years down the road? Because I can see them beating the Golden State Warriors myself. I'm really optimistic in this video, man, because I'm really happy I'm talking about this organization. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell as well to be updated when I upload a video. And also hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.